All right, well, welcome everyone. Happy Tuesday, happy rainy Tuesday. At least it's not storming like last week. That was kind of intense. Today, we don't need any like specific blocks or straps, but if you do have them and if you do want to use them, you are more than welcome to. Today, we are actually going to start in a child's pose position. If this doesn't feel good on the knees or the hips in any way, you can totally just come up to a nice seated position, whatever that feels like. You can also place a blanket underneath the knees to give you more cushion if you need to. And sometimes it feels good to put a pillow or even a folded up blanket between the calves and the thighs, and that'll give you a little more space. But once you join me on the mat, we'll drop the hips back and begin to extend the arms nice and long. Let the belly just settle in between the legs. And gently dropping the head down to the mat. Closing the eyes. Taking a big inhale through the nose. Deeper exhale out the mouth. Just releasing anything that might have built up right before this practice. Begin to connect with the breath. This is the metronome for our movement today. Without breath, there is no yoga. So the most important thing in this practice is just to keep with your breath. You are not obligated to do any poses. You don't have to be in any particular shape. Just feeling what's good in the body, backing off if there's any sharp pains. We want all the movements to be nice and gentle in the body. So just settling a bit more. Dropping in to our practice. And just food for thought. Just thinking about distraction. And I know that sounds kind of intense and kind of scary, but distraction in a good positive light. Our pink pose today is dancer pose. And that is normally a depiction of the god of destruction, Shiva. So sometimes for good things to come into our lives, we actually need to destroy or take away things that are old, that are not serving in our lives anymore. So with that in mind, just having a beautiful practice. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. A couple more times. Inhale. And exhale, release it out. Last time, big inhale. Deeper exhale. When you're ready, we'll slowly begin to make our way up to a nice tabletop. Shoulders right over the wrists and hips right over the knees. Fingertips spread nice and wide, gaze is looking straight down. On your next breath in, we'll lower the belly and then open up the chest, gaze looks up. Exhale, nice and slow, begin to push down through the earth, doming the upper back. And just a couple more times. Inhale, pull the heart through the arms, tailbone points up. Exhale around the upper back, belly to spine, chin to chest. And last time, we'll inhale for a cow pose. And then exhale to a cat back. And then coming back to a nice neutral spine. So we're just gonna kind of unwind our neck right now. So kind of like looking at your nose, we're just going to take our gaze over to the right. And begin to slowly circle the chin down, gazing at the floor. Begin to gaze up towards the left. And taking the gaze all the way back to center. A couple more times. Moving the neck nice and slow. Like you're drawing a circle with your nose. And again, just moving nice and slow with the breath. Once you make it up top, begin to reverse it. nice and easy. Feel as if you're moving through mud or moving through honey. Just slowing down the tempo a bit. And then once the chest or chin meets the chest, we'll begin to come back to that nice neutral spine, really pressing down through all 10 knuckles and then pressing down to the tops of the feet, engaging the core. And then we'll begin to extend that left leg back and then extend the right arm forward, really reaching through the fingertips, pressing that heel back, like you're pressing your foot against that back wall. And we'll inhale, lengthen, extend the body just a bit more. On the exhale, begin to take that back knee and see if it can meet the elbow underneath the belly, rounding the back. And then we'll inhale, begin to extend nice and long. And then exhale, nice and slow with control, knee to elbow. Inhale again, lengthening up. And then exhale, slowly crunching in. Inhale, get long. And then exhale, we'll set it all back down to our tabletop. And we'll just take a cat-cow here. So inhale, drop the belly, open up. And then exhale, pressing down, rounding the back. And then coming back to a nice tabletop. Again, engaging the core, pressing down through all 10 knuckles. We'll begin to extend that right leg back. And then extend that left arm forward. Gaze is still looking straight down, nice long line from the fingertips all the way to that back heel. Squaring off the hips to the floor. Checking in with the breath, nice and calm. On an inhale, we'll lengthen up just a bit more. Exhale, begin to crunch in elbow to knee. And inhale, begin to extend nice and long. Exhale, crunching in. And then exhale, extend. Inhale, and then exhale again, crunching in. And we'll inhale, begin to lift up, and coming back to that nice tabletop. We'll just take one last cat-cow, dropping the belly, opening the heart through. And then exhale, pressing the back all the way up. And coming back to a nice neutral spine. So from here, we're just gonna tuck the toes under and then begin to lift the hips all the way up and back, downward facing dog. So from here, just begin to play around a little bit, pedaling out the feet, heel toe, slowly and carefully just opening up the calves, the back of the legs. Gaze is looking in between the feet or even the calves. And see if you can point the tailbone up just a bit more. Really pressing through the hands, pressing the weight towards the back of the mat. Keeping with those deep inhales and deeper exhales. And then we'll just find a little bit of stillness. On the next inhale, we're gonna lift that right leg up, three-legged down dog, pointing the toes down towards the ground. Big inhale. Exhale, taking that knee towards the nose, hold. And then we'll inhale that right leg all the way up. And then exhale, knee to nose, knee to chest. We'll pull that right foot through the hands, low lunge. Gently drop that back knee, flatten that back foot. So staying here, this is enough. You can always place your hands up on the knee, or we'll inhale the arms all the way up. So just paying attention to your hips and your core. So sometimes we want to just kind of drop in, but that doesn't feel good on our low back sometimes. So coming up a bit, and then slightly tucking the tailbone in, letting the rib cage come towards the belly just a bit more. So we're engaging that core. And then slowly letting the hips drop. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, lift the arms a bit more. And then exhale, we'll take the fingertips down towards the ground. Tuck the back toes, lift the back heel. And then we're just going to step ourselves all the way to the top of the mat. And then begin to bow over the legs if it feels good. Bending the knees a lot, grabbing onto opposite elbows, swaying a little side to side. Taking a full breath in, full breath out. And then we'll slowly begin to roll ourselves all the way up. And then drawing the shoulders down the spine, inhale the arms up. Gaze what's in between the thumbs. Exhale, hands come to heart center. And then taking the hands next to our side into Tadasana or mountain pose. Full breath in. Full breath out. Slight bend in the knees. We'll inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be on top of the thighs or the shins. And then exhale, forward fold. Couple more times. Inhale, nice flat back. And then exhale, melting down. Last time, inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, take the hands back. And we're just gonna step back to downward facing dog. Lifting the hips all the way up and back. And again, maybe just playing around with the heels, still opening up the backs of the legs. And then maybe refocus your attention to your hands, making sure they're nice and wide. And they're planted into the ground, but engaging them as if you're externally rotating them, like you're trying to open up a jar. We'll find a little bit of stillness in the legs, and we'll inhale that left leg up, keeping the hips square, pointing the toes down towards the earth. Inhale, lengthen up a bit more. And then exhale, knee to chest, knee to nose, hold. And we'll inhale that left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose, knee to chest, pull that foot through the hands, low lunge. Gently place that back knee down, flatten the back foot. So staying here on the hands, or if you need blocks, coming up on the knee if that feels okay, or lifting the arms all the way up. And again, you can always come up even higher to really adjust the hips, really make them square to the front of the room, tailbone pointing down towards the earth, engaging the core, and then gently coming into that left hip. Opening up the chest. Your focus, your drishti is straight ahead, nice and soft. Full breath in, lifting up. Exhale, take the hands back down to the ground, and we'll tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. And we're just going to take ourselves all the way back to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time we're going to slowly roll up one notch at a time again. Rolling the shoulders down the spine, sweep the arms up. Palms meet at the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then hands next to your side, again into mountain pose. Feeling really strong in this pose. Really grounding the legs all the way down to the feet, into the earth. Full breath in. Full breath out. On your next breath in, slight bend the knees, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, melting forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down. And this time we're going to step back to plank pose. We're just going to hang out here just for a few breaths. You can always drop your knees if you need to, no big deal. Shoulders are right over the wrist, and heels are right over the toes. You can also sway or rock a little forward and back, side to side. Just finding ease in the body, never having to be super static in one pose. When you're ready, we'll take the knees down and begin to bend the elbows, graze the rib cage all the way down to the belly. Flatten the toes, grounding them into the earth. We'll inhale, begin to take the chest up just an inch, baby cobra. Exhale down with control. Inhale, maybe a little higher this time. Squeeze the glutes at the top. And then exhale all the way down. Last time, inhale, we'll roll up maybe to a full cobra. And then exhale down with control. Tuck the toes under, knees can stay down or lifted up. And we're gonna press into our plank pose, and then take the hips all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Staying here for one breath in, one breath out. Inhale, gaze towards the top of the mat, and exhale, we're just going to walk or crawl ourselves all the way to the top. Once you make it up, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time we're going to inhale, root to rise all the way to standing, lifting the arms. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down, stepping back to plank pose. Stay for the breath in. On the breath out, lower the knees down. Bend the elbows all the way down to the belly, flattening the back feet. We'll inhale to a cobra. Stay here if this is enough. If you have the room, really pressing the tops of the feet, lifting the hips, lifting the thighs off the ground, really pulling the chest forward, gaze is looking forward. And then exhale, we'll all meet up into a downward facing dog. And then again, really pushing the weight towards the back of the mat. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, gaze towards the top of the mat. Exhale, maybe taking a nice big step all the way to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way to standing, lifting the arms. Gaze what's in between the thumbs, lengthening up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down, stepping back to plank pose. So we'll stay here for the breath in. On the breath out, your choice. You can lower down all the way or halfway for chaturanga. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, we'll all meet back up into a downward facing. And we're going to stay here in this active rest for 3 breaths. You can always come down into that child pose if you need to. 2 more breaths. 1 breath in. Bigger breath out. Inhale, gaze towards the top of the mat. Bend the knees and either step, hop, or flow all the way to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way to standing, lifting the arms. Hands meet at the top. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Closing the eyes. Just plugging in the thumbs into the sternum. Grabbing hold of that heartbeat, grabbing hold of that breath. So whatever is going on outside this mat in life, maybe things aren't going your way or life gets just a little bit difficult. And that's okay, just remembering that sometimes we need that in our life so good things can come. So let us drop into our practice just a bit more, taking this time to recenter, refocus. Big breath in. Big breath out. Slight bend in the knees, we'll lift the arms. Sweep all the way up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands back, and then we'll step back into plank pose. And then lower down halfway or all the way. Inhale for cobra, upward facing. And then exhale, downward facing dog. On your next breath in, we'll lift that right leg up. And then bend the knee, open up the hip. And then begin to roll out the ankle, circling open the hip. See if you can get that heel a little closer to the glute. And then really engaging that quad, opening the hip up just a bit more. And we'll inhale, begin to straighten up that leg, squaring off the hips. And exhale, knee to chest, knee to nose. Inhale, extend that leg all the way back up. Twice more. Exhale, knee to chest, knee to nose, doming the upper back. Inhale, take that leg up. Exhale, crunching it. I'll do that one more time. Inhale, lift the leg up nice and high. Exhale, knee to chest, knee to nose. Pull that right foot through. Low lunge. So engage the core. We're gonna lift all the way up. High lunge. Hands can be lifted above. If you need a little more balance, you can always take the hands towards hips or even energetically reach towards the ground. Feel a little more grounded this way. Shoulders stacked right on top of the hips. Front knee stacked right on top of the ankle or just a little behind. We'll take a full breath in. Full breath out. On your next breath in, we're going to straighten up that front leg, lift all the way up. Exhale, begin to open up to the left, spinning that left heel down and coming into warrior two. And you might have to widen your stance a bit or shortening it, just seeing how the hips feel right now. Front toes are pointed straight forward, and that front heel is in line with that back arch. Arms nice and long. Full breath in. Full breath out. So stay there. I'm actually going to turn around so I can show you our next thing. So staying in this nice engaged warrior two, we're going to take our hands right in front of our chest. And on an inhale, we're going to straighten out that front leg and then lift the arms all the way up. Exhale, take the hands back down to the chest, bend the knee, and then begin to press all the way out into warrior two, flexing and pointing the fingertips up towards the sky. You should feel a nice lengthening in the top of the arms. And we'll do that a couple more times. So inhale, pressing all the way up. Exhale, begin to press all the way back down. One more time, inhale up. Exhale, nice and deep, all the way back down to warrior two. So from here, we're going to inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, coming over, extended side angle, forearm meets on top of that thigh. And extending the arm overhead, maybe rolling the shoulder open just a bit more. Inhale, reverse. Begin to straighten up that front leg, reverse triangle. Inhale, coming all the way up to center, taking the arms out into a T still. We're going to shift the hips back and take that right hand down to the shin, maybe even the thigh. We're going to drop down into triangle pose or Tadasana. Gaze is looking up towards those top fingertips. Now, see if you can refocus yourself onto your right side of the body. If you feel like you're crunching in, that probably doesn't feel good. So maybe placing your hand on a block, maybe putting a little bend in the knee. But you want to create space in the body. So instead of thinking what you think you should look like, letting the body do what feels right. And we'll stay here for one more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, reverse it back, bend that right knee. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, low lunge. So from here, we'll inhale, take that right arm up, twisting from the belly. Calm breath in, calm breath out. From here, we're gonna actually transition into a plank pose. So you might wanna heel toe your foot a bit, or maybe you can even rotate onto that back foot and then gently swing that right leg on top of the left. But if it's a gentle, heel toe and then finally getting there, no worries. You can stagger the feet. You can even put the knee down if that feels better. Just seeing what's going on in the body. Really pressing down through that bottom arm, really pressing through those knuckles, the palm of the hand. Maybe the gaze looks up towards the top fingertips. Engaging that left side body, maybe arcing up just a bit more. And we'll exhale, right hand meets the ground, plank pose. Full breath in. On the breath out, lower down. Inhale, Cobra or upward facing. And then exhale all the way back, downward facing dog. We're going to take 3 cleansing active breaths here. You can always come down in child's pose. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Good. One breath in. One breath out. And if you're in child's pose, coming back up to downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale that left leg up. Bend the knee, open up the hip, rolling up the ankle, maybe circling up the hip. And then maybe seeing if you can engage that quad and see if you can get the heel a little closer to the glutes. And then we'll inhale, lengthen up that leg, squaring off the hip. Exhale, knee to nose, knee to chest. Inhale, extending that leg all the way back. Exhale, rounding the upper back, taking the knee towards the forehead. We'll inhale that left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose, knee to chest. Pull that left foot through the hands. Low lunge. So catching your breath if you need to right here. Letting the hips settle. When you're ready, engage the core. And we'll lift all the way up. High lunge. So just making sure that your shoulders stacked right on top of your hips. Kind of like when we were down in our low lunge. See if your tailbone is pointing down towards the ground a bit more. Engaging that core. Gaze is looking straight forward, nice and soft. We'll stay here for one more breath. And then on your next breath in, we'll straighten up that front knee, lift it all the way up. Exhale, opening up to the right, warrior two, and dropping down. Either taking the stance a little wider or even shorter. See what's going on in this side. Each side of the body is a little different, so no worries. Arms nice and long. Gaze is looking past that middle finger. And then opening up the chest just a bit more. Settling down in the hip. And again, we're going to take our hands right in front of our chest. And we'll inhale, straighten up that front leg, lift the arms up. Exhale, begin to press the arms all the way out. Flexing the fingers towards the sky. And again, we'll lift all the way up on an inhale. Exhale, nice and controlled, pressing out. The inhales will lift the body up. And the exhales will soften all the way down. On your next breath in, we're going to reverse it back. Exhale, coming over, extended side angle. Really pressing down through the forearm on top of the thigh, giving you more space in the side body and the shoulder and the ear. Rolling open that right shoulder. Inhale, begin to reverse. Exhale, begin to straighten up that leg, reverse triangle. Inhale, up towards center. Exhale, shift the hips back, leaning forward, let that left hand drop onto the thigh, or even the shin, maybe even down to the floor, down to a block. But again, see what's going on that left side body. If you feel like you're crunching in, that doesn't feel good, making a little more space. Feeling length and extension in the body. We'll stay here for one more breath in. One more breath out. On an inhale, using the core, lift all the way up, reverse triangle, bend that front knee. Exhale, begin to cartwheel the hands down to the ground, low lunge. From here, we'll inhale, lift that left arm up, twisting from the belly. Really pressing down firmly into that right hand. You know where we're going. You can heel toe your foot, getting it closer to the back, or if you can lift it and stack it right on top or even staggered. Taking that top left hip and just moving it a little bit more forward so your hips are stacked right on top of each other. Inhale, lift the hips up just a bit more. And then exhale, we'll take the left hand back down to that plank pose. And then when you're ready, lower down. Inhale, Cobra, upward facing dog. And then exhale all the way back, downward facing. We'll take 3 active breaths right here. You can always go down in child's pose. Deep breath in through the nostrils. Deeper breath out of the mouth. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. On your next breath in, we'll gaze towards the top of the mat. A little slight bend in the knees, and we'll exhale, either step or hop all the way to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way to standing, lifting the arms. Hands come to the heart center. And then hands come next to your side, mountain pose. So I'm going to come to the center of my mat so you can see what we're doing. So again, if something just doesn't feel good, you can always ease out of it, or you don't even need to do it at all. But seeing what your body or your range of motion is today. So here we are into Tadasana pose, mountain pose. 4 corners of your feet really pressing down into the earth. Core is engaged. Quads are engaged all the way up to the crown of the head. So from here, we're going to take our left hand, and your left elbow is going to come into your side. Inhale that right arm all the way up. We're just going to shift our weight to the right foot, and then slowly bend that left knee. And maybe this is enough, and you can just practice here with balancing. If you have the space, see if you can take that left hand and begin to grab onto the inner arch of that left foot. So this might be enough, and that's totally fine. If you have a little more space, begin to slowly press that top of the foot into the left hand while hinging at the hip just a bit. Engage that left glute and lifting all the way up. And we'll just stay here for a couple of breaths. Inhale, lifting up. We always want to move up in our practice, in our life. And then exhale, we're going to come back the way we came, nice and easy. And then if you have to put your toes down, you totally can, or maybe keep it moving all the way up, giving it a nice good squeeze. And then we're going to take the sole of the foot into that right inner thigh for tree pose. So from here, if you can't take the foot to the thigh, that's totally okay. You can put it towards the calf or even do a kickstand, just not putting the foot onto the knee. That is no good for our knees, and we want to keep healthy knees. So wherever you are, think of a magnet to a fridge. So both forces equally. Thigh pressing into foot, foot pressing into the thigh. Hands can come to heart center, or arms can be raised up. Taking a full breath in, full breath out. And we're gently just take the foot all the way back down, and then just shaking out the body a bit. And then we're going to move on to the other side. So we'll inhale both arms up this time. Exhale, take that right elbow into the right side. Begin to shift the weight to the left foot, and see if you can bend that right knee. Maybe staying here if that's enough. Maybe reaching back to that right foot. If you have the space, maybe begin to press into the hand, hinging at the hip just a bit, engaging that right glute, lifting up. Full breath in, full breath out. And we'll just come out the same way we came back in, taking the knee up to the chest, giving it a nice good squeeze. And then we'll take the foot into the thigh or the calf, or even down to the floor as a kickstand. And just coming into tree pose. So just finding what feels right in the body. And if you're sitting a little side to side, no worries. Kind of like our storm we had last week. A lot of trees, blowing side to side in the wind, and that's okay. Just keeping a nice grounded root into the earth. Finding that focus, finding that drishti. Coming back to that calm breath. When you're ready, we'll slowly take that right foot back down to the ground. Shake it out just a bit. And then we'll inhale the arms all the way up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down, stepping back to plank pose. Now just take the knees down. Big toes touch. Knees come as wide as comfortable, dropping the hips back down towards the heels, coming into child's pose. Just taking a moment. Again, coming back to that intention that we set in the beginning of class about destruction, but taking it into a positive light. So as we are in this humble pose, thinking about anything you need to surrender in your life, or acknowledging that maybe something in your life that you already have taken away, intentionally or not, and seeing the good that is going to come into our lives, creating new energy, unblocking any stagnant energy left in our life, left in our body. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly begin to walk the hands back towards the knees and just coming to a side seat. We'll slowly sweep the legs out in front of us, maybe recentering ourselves onto our mat. And let the toes point towards the sky. You can have a slight bend in your knees if you need to. So we'll inhale the arms all the way up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, leading with the chest. Exhale, let the hands fall wherever they may. And then inhale, lengthen up just a bit more. And then exhale, begin to mountain wherever you are. Just dropping in, letting go of any tension. Taking this time to recenter your breath, recenter your mind. And we'll take one breath in, one breath out. We'll slowly roll all the way back up and then just keep it going. You can grab onto the backs of the legs or just use the core. Slowly coming all the way down onto our backs. And then we're just going to grab a hold of that right shin. Point and flex the foot, circling the ankle out in different directions. We'll take the right arm out into a half T, palm facing down. So keep that right shoulder flush to the floor. And then with the left hand, we'll slowly guide the knee down towards the right. Still keeping that right shoulder onto the ground. So maybe the knee doesn't come directly to the floor, that's okay. Just twisting from the belly as much as possible, letting that twist unwind naturally. Making each breath a little deeper than the last. Bringing awareness to the body or even the mind. Just seeing what you can let go or what you need to let go. When you're ready, we'll take the right knee all the way back up, give it a nice good squeeze, and then gently sending it back down to meet the right. When you're ready, we'll bend that left knee, maybe hugging in the shin towards the chest, pointing and flexing the foot, circling out the ankle. And then taking the left arm, letting it splay out into a half T, palm facing down, shoulder, and again, flush to the floor. And we'll begin to gently guide that left knee down towards the right. Twisting from the belly. Letting the twist just gently massage all the organs inside of us, detoxing, letting out any stagnation in the body. Allowing the breath to soften us just a bit more. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly bring the knee all the way back towards center, giving it a nice good squeeze. And then begin to slowly bring that right knee back up. So hugging in both knees in the chest, rocking a little side to side. If it feels good, you can grab a hold of both knees and just circling them in one direction. Nice low back massage. You can stay here, reversing, or if it feels good, you can just let the knees splay out towards the armpits a bit more, or even coming into happy baby if that feels good. Or yogi's choice. You feel like you need another reclined twist, maybe at the shoulder stand. Maybe it's even dropping down into Shavasana. Tuning into what your body needs in this very moment. Just having 3 more breaths wherever you are. And then we'll slowly make our way to our final resting pose, Shavasana. If you have the room at home, you can always take your legs up onto a wall, or place a pillow or rolled up blanket underneath the knees. But once you make it there, closing the eyes, tucking in the chin just slightly to lengthen out the back of the neck. And then taking a big inhale through the nose. Exhale, emptying it all out. Begin to relax the toes, the soles of the feet and the ankles. Relaxing the calves, the knees, and the tops of the thighs. Softening the hips and the pelvis. And then letting this peaceful sensation flow all the way up through the spine, into the belly, into the chest. Melting the shoulders down into the earth. And relaxing the arms all the way down to the fingertips. Letting them naturally curl in. Releasing any tension you may have left in your jaw. And softening the space between your brows. Letting your thoughts and mind become weightless as you sink and surrender to the earth. When you're ready, slowly coming back to the room, back to your body, back to your natural pace of breath. Wiggling out the fingertips and toes. And taking a nice big stretch like you're waking up in the morning. And if it feels good, rolling over to your favorite side into Fetal Pose. Once you make your way there, taking a big inhale in. And nice calm breath out. Now at the bottom of the exhale, slowly pressing yourself all the way to a comfortable seat. Keeping the eyes closed or heavy. And then once you make your way there, we'll just take the hands back to heart center, bowing the chin in gratitude for taking this time for your practice. Showing up is just the hardest thing. And having gratitude for yourself, for you put in the work, and that is even harder. I thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today, as your body thanks you as well. And just remembering that you have enough, you do enough, and you are enough. Thank you so much. Namaste. Well, thank you everyone for coming. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, a beautiful rest of your week, and I hope you stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you next week. Bye, everyone.